All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new review on Ahsoka Episode 8, and also which served as the season finale of the Ahsoka show for Season 1. And we don't even know if this show is going to get a second season. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, right off, I thought it was horseshit. There's no other way to say it. Disney cannot help themselves. My one fear when I started the series was that Sabine was all of a sudden going to become this amazing Force user. And so what happens in this episode? She goes from not even being able to push a cup a few episodes earlier to being able to do all sorts of things. Call her lightsaber and push somebody a half a mile through the sky. Like, it was ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, it was just off the charts ridiculous. The whole thing with Sabine, stupid. Ruined the show. This is the kind of crap that Disney can't help themselves with. The women have to be better than the men in every way, shape, and form. Something that would take someone years to learn, the women can just all of a sudden do. All because Ahsoka told her she believed in her. Ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. Did I hate everything? No, but here's the one thing about this last episode is it did nothing to resolve any of the storylines. The only thing this episode served was a way to set up future storylines in other things that are happening in the Star Wars universe. Now, they're exploring a time that has not been explored before. It's taking place after Return of the Jedi, leading up to The Force Awakens. There's a big, huge gap in there, like 20 years or whatever it is. And so they've got a huge, the Empire wasn't gone. It was there. And what they're leading to is that Grand Admiral Thrawn is going to be the bad guy in this time period of Star Wars, which we all figured and we all knew going into the series. So we already knew, it was predetermined before the show ever started, that we knew that Thrawn was going to get back to civilization and back into the Empire. We knew that was going to happen. What we didn't know was Ezra going to make it back, all these other things. And of course, Ezra does make it back. And this was another thing that bothered me. In the scene where he gets back and he meets Hera, he sees Hera. He's coming off of a ship. They think it's some kind of an Imperial ship. He comes out with the weird stormtrooper outfits that, from Grand Admiral Thrawn. And the first thing he does is say hi to Hera, and then he's back. He doesn't scream, "Hey, Thrawn's back! Hey, Thrawn's back! Thrawn's..." That's the first thing somebody would say, is that Thrawn's back, okay? But he doesn't. It was more about their reunion. So there were some things in this episode that were just ridiculous to me. They didn't make sense. It was stupid. Then you had both Shin and Baylan disappeared pretty much for the entire episode until the very end. And they're starting two new storylines there too. Shin goes off to live with the natives on the planet, and then you got Baylan who goes, and there's something about these Mortis magicians. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I haven't seen the Clone Wars, the show. So there's some stuff I'm not familiar with. He is going off to do something else there on the planet, and there are these statues of some men behind him, and he looks like he's just at home. What was the purpose of introducing him in the first place? Now, the actor has passed away, sadly, which is unfortunate, and they're going to have to recast him if they go forward with any new stories, but it was kind of pointless in the show. So they go off to do their things, and then Sabine and Ahsoka are kind of held back and stuck on the planet, and they don't seem to care so much. Now, I'm of the mind that they could probably call those space whales back and hitch a ride back to civilization. I think that's a real possibility. And I also think it would be stupid if they didn't on the way there, get some coordinates and kind of map where they were going so they could get back. Again, stupid that they didn't do that. So there were some things that defied logic in this episode. Did I hate this episode? No, I didn't hate it. But coming off of several episodes prior, there were some amazing things that happened. And the last episode was just as vanilla as you get. You already knew what was going to happen before it happened in every scene. The only thing that was really cool about this episode is that we got to see Sabine, Ahsoka, and also Ezra fight together. Ezra built the lightsaber in this episode with the help of Hyang. And we got to see how old Hyang was. He's the robot that kind of flies around with Ahsoka, and we find out he's been around long before any of them ever existed. And so he's been around for a very, very long time. And so it was cool to see that and know that he may be around for a lot longer. And we also had the Force ghost of Anakin show up at the very end, which I thought was okay. Maybe he's going to be the new, what's his name? The new Obi-Wan to Ahsoka, basically. And so they're still basically, like I said, all they did was set up more storylines. How is Sabine and Ahsoka going to get back? How is, what's up with Baylan and Shin? Why did Ezra not say anything about Thrawn? So we do have Ezra back, and obviously if they do an Ahsoka season 2, she's going to have to get back. So I just, unless they do something completely different and split these storylines off, and Ahsoka has to deal with Baylan, who knows? And that's the thing. This show did nothing to resolve anything. All it did was set up new storylines, and we don't know where they're going with it. Now, we do know that there is a movie that is supposed to be directed by Dave Filoni that is going to take place in this time period. And I think that's what they're building up to, is that everything is going to culminate into this movie that he is going to do. And so I believe that's what all these storylines are being set up for, and it will entail everything from The Mandalorian up until what we've seen with Ahsoka so far and where this may go in the future. But Disney's bleeding money, and who knows if they're going to even do an Ahsoka season 2. So outside of the Mary Sue crap and the illogical ways people responded to a couple of the situations, it was a decent episode, but it was 100% predictable. So overall, for the season, it had a real good feel of Star Wars, but was drugged down by some of the choices that were made and the unresolved storylines. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to have to give this, out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5 out of 5. Could have been better, but could have been a whole lot worse, too. But Disney can't help themselves with that Mary Sue stuff, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. At any rate, there is my review for Ahsoka Episode 8, as well as the season finale and the show as a whole. We will see you on the next review.